Pisces,
Hey Pisces.
how are you guys doing? It's May 2018, and this is your reading for this month.
May 2018.
How you feeling,
The
Pisces?
sun is still in Taurus. You are very compatible with Taurus.
You're giving us
Normally.
distance.
I know, right? Are you out there right now? This is for
Neptune.
Pisces rising, Pisces moon, Pisces sun.
The moon is in your sign right now.
Also, if you're deeper into astrology and you know some of your planetary placements, you can also be looking at this if you have Venus and Pisces, you know.
Yeah,
Definitely, that this would be correlating very much with that. Or, you know, if you know your planetary placements and how that affects you with Mars and Pisces and Saturn and Pisces, etc.
Sun, moon, rising as well. You know, if you don't know your rising sign, then you can go to any website.
I always say Cafe Astrology. That's a really quick and easy one that I like to
Cafe
use.
Astrology, Astrolata, birth charts,
Yes.
astro charts.
Because, as you know,
that moon placement is important.
Very.
Pisces rules the moon, as well as Cancer. Okay, so we have decisions, choices, communication, ways of communicating.
I have been shuffling before.
Okay. Right.
And we did the Astro Weekly. I think this was your Astro Weekly card. This was a correlation, yeah. So we just did the Astro Weekly, like, I want to say like 2 days ago, and this card came out for you
There's been
already.
A change. There's been a change, Pisces.
Right, and this card was last month. This was like large in you. And I was shuffling before we turned this on, and a lot of cards are just really very prevalent. Very prevalent for you. You guys do work in the subconscious. It's no big surprise that...
Okay, he's giving you ascendant, honey. Okay, so at the top, right, Six of Swords. All right, what's that? That's giving you Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury is a planet of travel, communication. It rules, you know, like electronics, that type of thing. Just the way that messages are sent, all the different ways that messages are sent, you know, social media, all of those things are very mercurial, okay? So when you think about Mercury, you think about what's being told, what's being said, what's being understood, what's being transmitted, what's being received as well. It's because it's like a give and a take, right? With Aquarius, it's thinking about how this is affecting, or how effective is this? Basically, how effective is this? That's Aquarius.
Right. And you're definitely thinking about, you've been thinking about something for a while. I mean, your mind has been focused on it. And I think this whole rising and where it is right now, this first card coming out, which we'll show you, which is Six of Swords.
Right, Six of Swords.
It's talking about analyzing your thoughts and being careful about how you communicate in order to get to the goals, right? You see how calm that water is? You know, it's kind of gray and unsure what's over there, but they're eager to get there. And the point is that the hope is that there is better than where here is.
That's the calm water, right? And that's the rumbly, boiling, like, moving water that's just a little bit too rough.
And it's like things may be coming into focus as you, it's like the energy and putting the energy in your mind to move forward with some things without clearly like being able to decipher the other end, right? It's like knowing that the other end, that it's worth it,
right?
You know, to communicate the energy and to keep going in this area, you know, because you put things in it.
It's a very resolute energy. It's like you understand the implications and the consequences of allowing yourself to move on past a certain situation that was causing you conflict before. How are you going to mature, or how are you going to practice your maturity within this situation in order to get from one place to another that you want to be at, right? It's not like you want to stay in a place of not feeling good about things.
All right, bottom of the deck.
There's the conflict right there.
It is a conflicting kind of card, right? It's the Lord of Strife.
Also competition.
5 of Wands. Right, so this is competition. On the higher polarity, it is competition. It's like healthy competition. It's like we're coming together and we're doing this, we're making each other better, and we're pushing each other in these ways in order to produce more work, in order to make something happen, establish things. This is very Hierophant energy.
Right, so that could go either way, right? Are we working with each other or are we working against each other? Right? You need to be able to decipher what kind of competitive energy lies within a situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of like, what are you guys doing things for? Are you guys kind of bringing these wands together so that you can actually construct something? Or are you kind of just like nagging at each other and this is what it's going to be? Because you know, one or both of you can't see past a certain way, a certain spirited kind of energy. Like, this is what it is. Like, it's not necessarily something that is bettering you.
Right, I was just about to say.
So if it's not bettering you, that's the karmic lesson in that. You might have to move to a different group of people or a different type of situation in your heart that can be more productive, that you can get more out of it, you know?
Right. In your sun placement within the reading, you've got the Page of Cups. So it almost seems like you're being a little bit petty. It's like you know that you're petty sometimes, and other people know when you're being petty, and they can also anticipate when you're going to be petty, right? Because it's like anytime you talk to them, you're also probably maybe a little bit snarky. You know, cynicism, if that's what I'm using, that's the right word, is it's good to a degree, but it's like you don't want to do it too much because then people kind of like don't like being around you if you're kind of like going to be a downer.
Or it could be somebody, yeah, or it could be another water sign that's doing this to you. Because it is in the sun, so it is a lot about like how somebody sees you. I mean, this person is definitely producing an emotion.
Right.
They're presenting an emotion, so you very much are seen that way as someone who is trying to make something happen or trying to produce an emotion or affecting people or someone. Or another Pisces is affecting you in a certain type of way. Yeah, because this is definitely like you could know that you're doing it, whatever it is. You know, so you could be causing some emotions to happen. Because Pisces does rule the subconscious.
Yeah, and this is your card right here. And
then you got the Queen of Swords in your moon section. So that's kind of like, that's being able to see things, discern things, right? And this is like water and air, right? So the queens are water, and then the queen, and the Queen of Swords is a focus, is air. So you're focusing your emotions on this type of thing, and you're seen as someone who is producing these type of emotions because you're fixed in your mind on this. Well, I want it to be this.
I feel like you're also sort of weighing things out because this is a cardinal queen and it's air, so it's Libra and it's in the moon placement. So think about what the Libra moon is. Yeah. You're thinking about being fair with your emotions and how you display them, right? You can't really be fair and weigh out which emotion you display if it's an actual emotion that you want to communicate, being the leader of communication, Libra, right? So if it's something you want to communicate, why not communicate it and try to communicate it well and come from a place of understanding emotionally what the communication is saying and what the consequence, we were talking about this earlier, is going to be.
Because some of you really know, with that Queen of Swords there, it's like some of you really know a situation for what it is. Or you know the truth in the situation above other people. Whether it be, okay, it's two people that love each other or you love someone and you know whether they love you back. Or
Right.
you're in a situation with there's some friends or something, and they're going through some love stuff, and you know what the truth is, the secrets are. Like there's something about that. Like in your emotions what it is. But
Right.
what you know in your emotions, and how you present it, you're not presenting it in a way that's
Right.
mature. You're
Right.
presenting it in a way that is more self
Right.
serving.
And this is looking
And
in the
so
opposite direction of the queen when the cards are laid down. Okay, so you're one way and then you're the other way.
you're definitely giving, I know what it is. I know what it is, but whether or not you are actually going about producing that in a way that is going to be beneficial for all parties and not just for you knowing what it is, we'll have to get into the reading and see. Hopefully, you do make those decisions that are going to be fair and right for everyone.
Okay, so in the past, we got the Four of Pentacles.
Four of Pentacles.
Is that something in Capricorn?
Yeah, that's the Sun in Capricorn.
Sun in Capricorn. So you were holding on to something. Maybe you were actually even a little bit stubborn. You know what I mean? You didn't want to really budge on things. And it's like...
The Sun in Capricorn is saying, I want to put work in as well. Or maybe your mind is like... You could definitely be trying to have your cake and eat it too. This is very like, because Pisces, you want to feel all the things too. And Capricorn is always going to be enticed with the magic of life, always going to be enticed with a new situation. They want to work hard for that. And they also want to establish things. So with the Four of Pentacles, it's saying maybe you have established something. You established a business or you established a relationship with someone. Right. And then from that, where are you going to go with it? What does it mean to you? What value does it have to you just having it? Like maybe you got into a new relationship or something and now this is what it is. Or it's a relationship that you've been in, but there's a new understanding of it. And you're like, this is what it is. This is who we are. This is what we call each other. This is what we do. But there could be an imbalance with like how you go about it, like the actual, how much of each other you claim, he's kind of like working with something. He's working with the Pentacles, but at the same time, he's holding on to the Pentacle, thinking about the Pentacle. Right. So it's like there's so much energy that's going into, is it mine? Are you mine? Is it yours? Is it all of these kind of, what you're working for. Right. This
is an energy of something that kind of is like
this can be
very
restricting.
Set, right? Because there is the foundation here. You know what I mean? You're good. You look good on paper. You have assets. You know what I mean? You have a good job. You work regular hours. You get paid well. Obviously, look at them. So this is someone who actually likes things their way. It's kind of like when people are in power, because this is the emperor.
It's the emperor.
When people have power because of who they are on paper, you know what I mean? Maybe they have a really great bank account or something like that. Then they start to sort of like gain this complex, this emperor complex.
Because the Capricorn is all about that type of politicianary, like, I earned this, right? I did the work, and everybody's like, yeah, because it came from an emotional drive or a place where they achieved that. And with the Sun being there, it's saying the awareness is there, reputable. It's like a reputable thing, right?
Yeah. This is, this is a positive card.
It is a positive card. It's kind of got mixed emotions with it. It's like a mixed kind of thing. It's kind of like, you almost like can't be too stubborn with it. It's like a closed fist kind of thing.
It's almost like the fear of the loss of the stability.
Right. Yeah. It's keeping you kind of too stoic. It's or keeping you. Or even if it's like not even just about a job or something like that, but in the relationship, even like the proof of this or whatever, and the fear of the loss of that entitlement, is causing you to be too manic with it or causing discomforts, right? Because the Emperor is kind of not fair in that way. It's very much Mars energy. It's what you want. So there is some Mars in this.
Everything can't be about money all the time. You know what I mean? It's like you really have to.
And the Sun is like malevolent in that way, where it's just going to burn into it. It just wants it's the self.
Right.
right? So it
that's
wants
all
what it
that's
wants.
going on all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. Energy towards that. Energy towards that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Towards
So
your
it's
pleasures, towards your
right.
structures. But it takes two people in a relationship, Pisces.
Exactly.
So you have to keep that in mind, Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
In the present.
And this is your card.
Your card. The Sun in Pisces.
Right? So
right.
You are seeing...
Some of you are definitely thinking about another Pisces. If there's another Pisces there's a lot of like Pisces on Pisces energy right now.
That's a lot of mutable water.
Yeah, there's a lot of like that. So someone could be definitely affecting you. That's another Pisces or another water sign, even if it's a Cancer or a Scorpio.
Yeah. It could be.
But this is also about the manifestations of things or just an accumulation of emotions. Right. It is straight up all the way through. You thought about the array and felt all of the things, and you know now with that queen sitting there and the moon, you know why you're feeling this way, Pisces. Right. You know what you did, or you know what they did.
The thing is that you understand the emotional process that this has taken, right? Because you've gone all the way through
all those cups
to the 10th cup, right? It's like you probably are even realizing that, you know, it's almost kind of like this energy is great, but then if it were to be taken away from you, like, would it still be this great? Would you still acknowledge the relationship for what it was?
Right.
You know?
And this is like this is a manifestation of sorts, but this is like feelings. Like, these are feelings, right? So it's like,
oh, we're so happy. It's like feelings.
It's like deep, like all of this stuff, all of this energy. Think about so much energy, history. But it's also a new beginning that's possible there with the 10 of Cups. Mm-hmm. So that's talking about, you know, you getting to a place where it's like almost like a complete cycle with the 1 and the 10 happening there, because 1 and 0 also equal 1 again. So it's like, you can constantly produce this with this person. Right. So this is someone that will constantly affect you in these ways.
It's almost like the magician and the fool. And how do they correspond to
It's within everything that you do. So this is a very close relationship. This is a very deeply, this is like cosmic, karmic, like, you know, really a long time that you've been in this with this person.
It always renews itself.
Think those cups could be years.
Because this is
every year that you've had with this person.
Wheel of Fortune.
This could be a child or a mother or like a really like a love that you really are invested in.
Right. And this is a card that speaks to Pisces. It speaks to, you know, the sun being in Pisces. It also speaks to, you know, planets that rule Pisces, you know, Jupiter and Neptune. Okay, if you think about both of those. And this is also the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter. You know, it's number 10 in the major arcana. So it really is talking about cycles. And I was talking to Dale before we even started the reading about how mutable signs energy is very like cyclical. Like it's always going around in like all of these like circles and constantly rotating and spinning and twirling and, you know, all of these things like swirling around, right? Mutable energy. And the 10 of Cups is definitely speaking to things continuing. You always renew this relationship with these people or this person or, you know, whatever entity this might be because it always regenerates
because
itself.
It's meant to be. What the connection that you have with this person, it refuels itself because you both want it. You both have a similar vision here. You see the kids playing in the background there? That's symbolizing like family and harmony and having the same vision. These two are embracing each other and looking forward over the cup. So that's a nostalgic feeling by itself. Look at all of this stuff that we've gone through. Look at all of these cups in the sky for us, right? Yeah. So it's there's an awareness there of how you affect each other.
Right. It's giving you history. Now, in the
future,
Saturn
is there with
Saturn
Taurus.
Pentacles, right. Saturn and Taurus.
So it's the ritualisms of what make you feel restricted or, you know, even about the time. It could be like, am I on my right path with this relationship with this person? With that 7 being there, it's saying yes. That's the positive of it. It's saying, yes, you are. Or yes, you are coming to, because for some of you, this could be an accumulation in a sense that maybe you need to move on, because there is a Mercury and Aquarius there for some people. So for some people, it's like you're analyzing your thoughts and you're wondering, you know, should I move on or from something? It could be very much that. And in another aspect, for other Pisces, it could be we are really emotionally entwined with each other. This is what it is. We can continue to make this more, and we can continue to grow in this, and we both are equally committed to putting the energy in.
Right.
Like some of you are really waiting to see the proof of a new beginning.
Right.
They're saying that some of you really wanted to have, you've had maybe a manifestation in your emotions with something where you're like, you've identified it for what it is. You both know that you make each other feel this ways. You both know that you'll always be able to affect each other in these ways, but you're not necessarily walking in it in a way that makes sense. You're not living together. You're not married, or you're not, locking it down where everybody says it's Mr. and Mrs. blah, 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 or whatever. It's not that. And so there is a type of longing that comes with this card a little bit. Because Saturn is there, and Saturn is about karma and lessons, and also about restrictions in certain ways.
You are feeling restricted. You know what I mean? You're feeling restricted because you don't really have a grip on understanding the how and the why of the situation. You just want it to be what you want it to be, and you want it to get rushed into being that. You know what I mean? And Saturn is not going to let you rush into anything.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
And also, you have to learn how to get a grip on a situation, even if it's not happening as quickly as you want it to be, right? Mm-hmm. Because this is the Chariot as well. It's 7, mm-hmm. right? So it's sort of like, how are you going to channel a direction based on the time that Saturn is teaching you to really start to assess and look at what you have, mm-hmm. and see what it means to you.
Exactly. This is very steadfast. Taurus being looking at what you have, and then this is very slow. Saturn is very slow. And Pisces, you can be so going with the flow with your emotions and just wanting to flow with stuff. But, at the same time, it's this is stuff that you have been with.
It's saying
slow
your roll.
Slow. This is really stuff that you've been working with for a while that you might be questioning, or that you might not be giving enough energy to, that it really is a bigger part of your life that you don't really allow it to have the weight that it should. And there are lots of lessons in that, especially
right.
when you know that you are on your right path with certain things, or you do have a good thing, then you better treat it it's a good thing, Pisces.
I'm gonna charge the phone. Keep going.
In your anxieties, you have Leo, which is the Strength card, right? So this could mean a lot of things. This is the new beginning. This is a progression as well, paired with, that 7. So some of you are having anxieties over the new beginning,
right?
And you're you want to have a new beginning with something. Right. It could be just new beginnings in the emotions in your relationship, or just getting finally the proof, like we said before, of something that you've been waiting for. But you just don't feel you just don't know. You've been questioning something about if you're on your right path with it, and you need to realize that this is something inside. This is some inner work that needs to happen.
Right.
It's
if you practice that patience with the 7 of Pentacles, then you might even reach this place, right? 8 of strength,
mm-hmm.
courage.
And the strength is in the union.
Right, the strength is in the union. And it's she is not really worried about this lion killing her or maiming her or anything like that, because she has gone to a place that's quite spiritual. You got to be spiritual to be able to do something like this.
I feel like some of you are feeling you haven't really been, you didn't do something the way you should have, possibly. Mm-hmm. Or you are not being seen in the way that you would like to be seen. And that might be causing some anxieties for you, as far as the integrity, your integrity and stuff. You know, you're having anxieties over that. You're having anxieties over maybe how your mate sees you. Especially right now, even in Taurus season, maybe some of you are not feeling as attractive as you want
Right,
to
I was
be
gonna say you're
to
being
your
seen
mate.
probably as being a little bit weak, right? Because this is in the anxieties placement. You're not practicing this strength because you actually feel weak, and that's what it reads as.
Yeah,
Clearly.
so it's really kind of like there's some heart healing that needs to happen, right? Because this is the heart. Leo does rule the heart, and it's pride too. So it could be vanity and all that type of stuff, and
a little
like
bit of ego.
you versus this person, or shouldn't I have more attention from this person? Or it could be those type of things too. And especially us getting into the spring now that we are all coming out now, the time that we spend with different people, we have more possibilities. And so there's more competition in that aspect of who you get to spend time with and how much time that person has time to spend with you and leaves time for you.
You're thinking that you're not as dynamic even as you were before. You know, maybe that's it.
Some of you want to shine more, yeah. And that is the Leo card too. So you could be even having anxieties over a Leo personally. That could be some things too. Maybe you missing that Leo somehow or missing some aspects of that. Or it's just a relationship in your life that you want the love to come back in. And you need to put more energy into the love coming back in.
This is
you have
your
to do
will.
it.
Okay?
That's your will. That's your Mars.
This is your Mars, right? What are you activating? Yes. What are you pushing forward? What you really need to
Expansion of feelings.
Is understand that there are things that you don't understand, there are things that you will understand, and there are things that you have yet to understand, right? So, knowing all of that and putting all of that in perspective, because this is a Gemini card, right? Consider all things and Venus, right? So here you go. Lovers. Okay? When you love someone, you communicate with them purely.
Right. And that's kind of hard for Pisces sometimes because you do rule the subconscious, and sometimes you guys are really afraid of so much afraid of not getting what you want emotionally that it can be so passive or manipulative and you don't realize it.
Right.
Because you are really driven. You are living in that fear. You're living in that place of fear of like not being able to get that wish met. Right. With Aquarius being the 12th house coming back around, not being able to get that thing that you have your mind fixed on manifested. That it actually kind of drives you in certain ways that you don't realize, right? Because you are very passive and you don't want to directly confront things sometimes, right? Because when you put your hand in the water, the fish scurries away. The fish doesn't come to bite your hand off. That's very rare sometimes, but that is very rare. You're very passive, too passive with your emotions.
What you have to understand is that these are two beings that are actually being guided by spirit. Yes? And these are the only two people here in this world that they've created with themselves, right? So they only trust each other, and then spirit guides them within that. And that's something that they don't really understand because they can't touch it, right? They can't hold it in their hand. It's really the idea of knowing that they are in this world and they have created this world together based on some higher power that has brought them together.
You're definitely thinking about someone that really deeply, deeply, deeply you feel connected to. I mean, this is like deep. This is deep. I mean, this is like you feel like this person is your soulmate, or they came from you, or they are you, or
the compatibility factor is very high.
So many strong emotions that are coming from this, but also even in the self. This is about the subconscious communicating with the conscious. Right, so it's talking about you know what I mean? The subconscious, which is you, is trying to get you to understand certain messages, get you to understand certain ways that how you make things happen, even though you might not think that you do. You're like, this is always happening to me. But in actuality, in the way that we are as beings, we create structures that affect us. And so water needs to be contained, we are, in a way, forming our own realities.
Right. Here we go. Another Venus card in your advice placement. The Nine of Pentacles, Venus in Virgo. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful card.
Virgo is very opposite you. So if you're dating a Virgo, well, there you go. Right. The advice is, yes, keep going in that, Pisces. That Virgo is for you.
Always a correlation between these two whenever we do readings for Pisces or Virgo.
There's been a lot of correlations recently, especially. Yeah.
So you're looking at your surroundings and you're making an assessment of feeling comfortable. Mm-hmm. You love what you've created. Right? You also want to bring other people around so they can enjoy that. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you have someone that you've invited to your home to stay with you. You know? Or maybe it's that you're feeling so good about yourself, you want other people to also share in that experience. It doesn't matter if it's someone that you are in a long-term relationship with. You know what I mean? This is your advice. So your advice is also telling you to appreciate what you have. Okay? That's really what this is saying as well. Because Virgo really understands what they have and why it's there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Venus is appreciating it because it's bringing pleasure. Mm-hmm. The structure of knowing what you have in your surroundings, why they're there, how you use them as resources, the order,
it's
right?
The order. And you
beauty in the order.
Right. It's like some of you are really coming to a full place in your emotions where you're realizing this now. And so this is saying, yes, go in with that and really prioritize who matters and why they matter. We all have to do this. I just posted something the other day about getting back to the bare basics of unapologetically Rihanna, unapologetic, that album, she's a Pisces. Unapologetic, yeah, there you go. Of why you feel the ways that you feel. Shout out to Riri, Miss Riri, we love you, boo. But you know what? It's talking about that, the work that you put in and why you do the things that you do. So yeah, like some of you are really, interesting for other signs, they were saying like a proposal might be coming and say, like you guys, some of you are like the proposer, okay?
Right.
Because some of you are getting to this place where you're realizing this in certain emotions. It is very true.
Okay, let's go into... We never pulled this card.
Yeah, the immediate influence. But it's just
really funny because at the beginning, I was like, oh, well, you got this Libra card here in the moon placement, so Libra moon, The immediate influence is Two of Swords, which is the moon in Libra.
The moon in Libra.
Okay?
Right.
So that energy is here.
So you are thinking about intimacy and wanting to be intimate. And weighing out what's fair in the relationships, too. Like, you're analyzing it. Some of you know you have some choices that need to be made as far as, there's just no going back from this point with the emotions. Right. Like, you really know that you need to either make this decision or make that decision.
Right.
You're definitely coming to a real full awareness of that.
It's like making a decision about the relationship. And this is a very important placement for this card, right? Because it's like...
What's fair in it?
You definitely know why you love the relationship so much. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You just have to make a choice about it. And that's what's challenging you as well. Right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Your anxieties are that you're like afraid of making the decision. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Of being decisive.
Of being decisive. And owning up and being accountable for your feelings.
It sounds like you're having a hard time listening to your heart.
Oh, right. It's
you're
like
really
you
having a hard time
hold yourself accountable for your feelings.
And so in the sun, it is kind of like that page is there because there are lessons being learned, Saturn, with the restrictions.
Oh, you just said the sun.
You know?
Okay, and you got the strength card, okay? The sun card is here, shining a light onto your reading.
Okay, so your outcome card is the magician, right? So the magician is the initiation, right? That's a new beginning happening right there. So something is about to change. Something new is about to come in. And you probably, I feel like, are going to initiate it. Or it might be initiated by another water sign in your life somehow. Just some type of new initiation that comes in. And it may cause some of you to change your mindset, especially with the Mercury and Aquarius being here at the beginning, right? So these two cards together are definitely talking about going. right? Going to a new place with your emotions. Going to a new place with the way that you process your thoughts.
This reading is so juicy that
it is juicy.
We were going to do another reading. I'm like, I'm wondering what's going to happen. Not even going to be able to do another reading right now.
Yeah, like this
is too much. You just got the Sun in your reading to clarify some things. Then you got the Knight of Swords, which, is right here at the foundation in the middle of your reading, right? So somebody probably told your ass off at one point based on, you feeling like you weren't hot enough. Maybe you weren't, owning up to your own feelings, and then you were allowing yourself to just kind of like do whatever it is that you wanted to do. Maybe you were surrounding yourself with people that we're just letting you like drink and party. You know what I mean?
I'm getting like, you're having fun and you've been doing this, but you haven't been listening to your heart.
You've been blocking it.
You want to put more energy into your lover, and you feel intimidated by certain thoughts because you need to be better at that.
Right.
You need to be better at putting more attention into what is perfected work for you, which is the proof of the relationship that you're in right now. If you're in a relationship, or whoever this person is that you've been thinking about that holds this manifestation of the Ten of Cups for you, which is like all of the love that you really want. It's like you're feeling undeserving because you're feeling like you haven't really given that person the right amount of you. Right. And you know what I mean? Like, that now. And now your mind is kind of like analyzing that. Like, you're waiting because there's an initiation that has to happen now from you.
Right.
Like, and you don't like to be aggressive in those ways necessarily. You usually, when you're aggressive, you feel like you have to be. Right. It's something that you feel like you have to do. It's not something that just naturally you grow into this thing. So, now I think you are getting to that place where the emotions are like saying like, hey, I really am going to have to.
You're being stubborn about making a long-term decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, long-term decision. Yeah, you are. There's like a little bit of fear in it, right? Because you don't want to just kind of commit to that. There's like almost like a commitment issue kind of happening here.
Yeah. You're being too overprotective of things. Yeah. And it just makes you seem like you're just being stubborn or being difficult to even like approach.
The moon in Sagittarius. You've been like being a little bit of a difficult lover, Pisces. Don't be a difficult lover. You can be sweet and you can like go with the flow with things. So don't be a difficult lover. But you need to decide for yourself. Maybe you're being really fickle about something. Yeah. And you need to really just be like, that this is a good thing. And so it is a really good thing. But you have this mental intimidation that's blocking you because you don't want to lock it down like that. You don't want to be locked down like that or something like that,
Right. It's like But
you want to keep your lover and you want to keep this good thing that you have going.
But you also want to be social and you want people to appreciate you for everything that you've worked hard for. And that's fine. People will appreciate you for everything you've worked hard for. They can see it. And, you've got the Seven of Pentacles right here crowning your Sun, which is actually just saying you will have to wait and you will have to learn this lesson and you will have to learn to appreciate what you have. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot. Okay, you got a lot of major arcana at the bottom down here. You've got the Sun and you've got Leo. Right. You've got the Lovers and you've got this initiation, right? So this is very much talking about
the world.
There's there's like your mind's been on fire when it comes to someone that you care about.
Right.
Maybe more than one person, but it's really been
control.
It's been affecting you, and Spirit is saying, have this new beginning that you want, and the new beginning can happen at any moment when you initiate it. I'm seeing a lot of that too. It's like things haven't moved because you haven't allowed them to move, or you haven't. You need to do something too. Right. It's not just one person waiting for them to do something in the relationship. You have to do it too, Pisces.
It's really funny too because when we pulled the Ten of Cups, I said, oh, it's Jupiter, and then I said it's 1 and 0. It's like the Fool and the Magician. Well, you got the Fool and you got the Magician in this reading. You see what I'm saying? So it really is about having a free spirit and allowing things to just be and exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Because this 0 is at many places in your reading. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So 0 can just exist. You want to really exist within the spirit of knowing that things are going to be okay because they were meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to move on from there and realize what it is that you're working with so that you can activate it, right? This is a manifester. He manifests things out of nowhere because he's already been given the gift to be able to
You guys
do
are in
so.
a waiting period. You're almost there with an accumulation of something that really means a lot to you or someone. At the bottom too. And then just as I did that, temperance also revealed itself. At the bottom there, rounding this out slowly. This is like you got the emperor, right? So the emperor is about construction. The emperor is about construction.
You got the
and then you've got that 5 as well. So it's like, what are we doing this for?
Right.
What are we doing this for?
You are literally creating the conflict. You're overseeing it.
Yeah, because the other person, I'm getting like the other person, unless they're a Pisces too, so you guys are kind of doing this in and in, is really probably ready or waiting too in a certain way, especially if that person is a Virgo. They could be the defining factors in your decision.
You know what you're feeling here. So it's like, why are you like restricting yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, you know what you're feeling,
yeah,
but you're also letting yourself be restricted because you're being fucking stubborn as hell.
It's a lot about what you want, and you got to start thinking about, that's the challenge, thinking about what's fair in the relationship, right?
Damn. This is a good
It's juicy. This is a really really good. I mean, it's almost kind of like kick me over, like I'm wondering what's going to go on over the summer for you guys. I'm seeing like either you're going to get into a new depth and a new beginning with this relationship, or some of you are going to move on from this and become single again, because that's a different message for a different Pisces. But because this is a general overall Pisces,
right,
for some of you, these two cards paired together could very much mean also that you're moving on.
Yeah,
right, you're moving on back to a place of being single, right, from something that maybe someone was being a little bit too fickle, and you're realizing that. Or some of you are really evolving to a new place, to a deeper place in your relationship, and that is going to happen from your initiation, because you're going to have this awareness of it, and your partner's going to be right there. Right. You've got that mental intimidation, but don't be worried, because they probably really love you just as much as you're worried if they love you. You're worried if they love you as much. They love you.
This is I. This is being accountable, right?
I love you, Pisces.
He's going to be held accountable for whatever he does within this frame, right? Because he is the one. So it really is about you, Pisces, right? You initiate. Okay, I feel like we're going to end it here because this is good, honey. I can't wait to post it for y'all.
It's been a very long, kind of like spirited, but get out of your own way. Get out of your own way and look at what is right there for you, and then shut up, Pisces.
Right.
And just go with that. Go with that. You know what I mean? Because you can't pick at every little emotion.
Right.
Be glad that you have somebody that you can, dive into these deeper realms with. Put more aggression into your lover.
Right.
It's saying that maybe they feel neglected in some way. If you're worried about that, then you need to. It is you, and you need to go ahead and move forward in the directions of that love and appreciate the love that you do have before you make any rash decisions.
All right, Pisces.
All right, Pisces.
We love you. We want you to.
Providence Tarot loves you.
We want you to really listen to what we're saying here.
I really hope
it's important.
Yeah. Because this is karmically related for you, and it's in a routine of things.
Yeah. So, be good, Pisces.
Be good. Love you.
Bye.